Awesome. So, all right. So in Affinity Photo, welcome to this tap through tutorial. Welcome to this tap through tutorial. Tap through is just a name that I came up with for going through each tool in the toolbar, so we can get an understanding of how to use it in your project, or just what's there. That's really helpful if you're just new to the application or to any application, design application like Affinity Photo, to just open up the application and click through it a bit. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today in the toolbar for the photo section of Affinity Photo. The first helpful tip when opening Affinity Photo is the question mark in the lower right hand corner. And if you tap, it'll bring up what each icon is, tool icons to the left. We have the view tool, move tool, color picker tool, crop tool, flood fill tool, the fill tool, paintbrush tool, erase brush tool, burn brush tool, clone brush tool, undo brush tool, pen tool, rectangle tool, artistic text tool. So the first tool, the view tool, you just use your finger to move around and pinch and zoom. The next tool is the move tool. With the move tool, you can select the little nodes that surround your layer to scale your layers down and move the layer around. If you tap in the middle of your layer, you can also rotate at the top with this white icon, just like that. And if you hold one finger down, it'll give you 15-degree increments. The next tool is the color picker tool. The color picker tool just allows you to hold your finger down and select a specific color on your layer. The next tool is the crop tool. The crop tool crops the entire canvas. That I'm just gonna step back with the 2-finger tap to my original photo. Okay, and that's the crop tool. The next tool is the flood fill tool. Flood fill tool allows you to select a color and with a lighter color. Okay, now let's do an erase. Okay, so now the erase did a pretty good job of erasing the background. All right, and the next tool was the fill tool. We're going to create a fill tool and create a little background. So that filled the layer with solid color, whichever color we're selected in our color wheel. Okay, and the fill comes with a couple options: solid, linear, which is a linear gradient if you drag this node from the corner, elliptical, radial. I'm just going to keep radial for now. This is a pretty good tool. Okay, so the next tool is the paintbrush tool. It's pretty straightforward. We'll pick out a nice paintbrush and paint on your canvas. In the paintbrush tool, you'll see the little arrow. When you have that arrow that on the icon, it means you have a drop down, and it means that you have other options for this tool. So here we have paintbrush, pixel brush, paint mixer brush, color replacement brush. The pixel brush is like a pencil where you can make it just allows you to mix areas of your painting to give it a little bit of a wet feel. Next one is the color replacement brush. This is very useful if you want to match skin tones, or if you want to match the hues and the saturations of a particular portion of your your photo to another section of your photo, you would use the color replacement brush. Okay, next up is the eraser tool. Very straightforward. Eraser. You can erase. All right, we have other drop downs. We have the background erase. Okay, the next set of tools is the burn brush. This little flame, burn kind of makes everything darker. You can see up in the hair, I'm trying to burn this hair. It's making it a little bit darker behind the ear. The burn brush. The dodge brush lightens things up. Maybe at the top of the hair, I want to make it a little bit more brighter, more contrast. So that's dodge. Sponge can be used to soak up some of that saturation. Maybe I don't want left bottom corner to be so saturated, so I use that sponge to soak up the saturation, and that is making the saturation. Okay, so it's saturate. We want to desaturate. So we want to desaturate that and bring more emphasis to his collar instead of the paint strokes on the left. Okay, all right, so that's the sponge. Blur, it's very simple. You can just blur out layers. Smudge brush, I skipped that one. Smudge, it just allows you to smudge. I'm staying in this left corner just to smudge some of these edges. They're a little bit too sharp for me. So I just want to take the smudge brush and just smudge them out. It just kind of blurs the pixels. Sharpens the pixels, makes your lines a little bit more crisp, or your photos more crisp. And median, finds the happy median. Haven't really used this brush. So onto the clone brush tool and its options. We have the clone brush, healing brush, patch tool, blemish removal, in-painting brush, red eye removal. All of these brushes are really important when you're doing photo editing. Clone brush, when you using the clone brush, you have to select and hold the area where you want to start your clone, and then once you have that selected, you'll see these little hatch mark and start your clone wherever you want to start it, and then use the brush to create your clone. The healing brush, we get a little message. You must press and hold to set a source. So I'm gonna set a nearby source and use the healing brush to heal that little spot. See, you took away that spot already. Healing brush, patch brush, select what you want to be patched, then slide it over to the source, and it will fill that area with the texture, the pixels that you sourced. Okay, blemish removal, that's more of you just use the surrounding pixels to erase blemishes. A little bit easier in photo manipulation than this painting. In painting and red eye removal, both are very useful in photo editing. Okay, undo brush. This is really a cool brush if you want to undo some of the things you did, but you don't want to erase your drawing. So we can stay on our layer and just we can erase certain areas of our effects that we put on the canvas. So if we make this brush a little bit smaller, down in this collar, maybe I wanted to bring that color back to the left that I took out earlier. I can paint into this. The only thing is it's going to erase all the effects that you put on the painting, not just the latest. Just it's going to erase everything back to the original image. Okay, so now we have the pen tool, and this allows you to make selections or shapes. Mask layer, and create our mask with the pen tool. Okay, let's go back. All right, the pen tool has also the node tool. The node tool just allows you to select your specific nodes without worrying about creating a new point. So you can adjust your nodes stress-free. So the shape tool, we have a bunch of shape options. Okay, we have rectangle, ellipse, square, star, triangle, tear, trapezoid, cog, cloud, diamond, crescent, arrow, star, heart, pie, call out ellipse, call out rectangle, donut, polygon. All these are really good shape options. They give you a lot of parameters to work with. I think are pretty cool. Like this cog, you can play with the parameters at the bottom, and when you're done you can convert it to curves, so then you'll have your nodes you can play with and customize. Right, what's a squared star? If you drag out and put one finger down, that'll create a uniform shape. Just play with some of the parameters and your shapes, and you know you can come up with some cool stuff. Art text, pretty straightforward also. You can type in your size of your text, what you want. I want this to be all caps, Joker. Alright, now we got some text. Alright. Now we got a little shape here. Frame text, that's going to allow you to frame your text in a box. Let's make the text bigger so we can see it. Make it bigger. I have a really large file, so it's hard to see the text. Yeah, frame text just keeps everything in a frame. All right, cool. So that's pretty much it. That's the toolbar in the photo section in Affinity Photo. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to see more videos like this, please leave a comment and let me know what you would like to see. Like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. All right, take care.